Welcome to Utopia, favored ones. Come on in and take a seat at the round table. I'm Kymmy, and let's get all into your reading. Today's reading will be in celebration of 777 subscribers. I can not begin to express how grateful and excited I am to have so many beautiful favored ones along on my journey to spread warmth and raise the vibration together. So thank you everyone who has subscribed. I really enjoy all your comments and just the outpour of love and support throughout the years, especially when I have my downtimes and I need time to heal. Just like every other healer, we need time to heal, and you've been so gracious and patient with me, and I really appreciate every single one of you. So if you are one of my subscribers now or in the future, or you just aren't ready to subscribe and you send me lots of love, I still appreciate you, and thank you for tuning in. So to get into it, from the 777, I wanted to do why people feel lucky to have you in your life. So we'll have three different piles to choose from, as it is a pick a pile reading, and we have the images on the thumbnail that you can choose from, or of course I have three different types of crystals. I have, for pile number 1, I have orange calcite. Pile number 2, I have a green jasper. And pile number 2. And pile number 3, we have the Ukite. So yeah, if you need to take a moment, go ahead. The timestamps will be listed below, and I will see you at your pile. Okay, bye. Pile number 1, if you chose the orange calcite, or of course the analog looking number 7, then this pile is for you. So let's get into why people feel lucky to have you in their lives. I'm going to be pulling 3 cards. The dicks. That was not what I meant to say, but some people may have some people may find you lucky in the downstairs department. Maybe you are big chested, or you have a big member. Some people may find you lucky in that sense. Maybe it's just the way you look. Maybe you carry yourself around. Maybe you have that big D energy that you carry around with you, whether or not you're divine feminine or divine masculine. It seems as though people find you very attractive, and that's why they find it lucky for you to be around. Maybe your partner feels lucky to have you because of how well endowed or voluptuous you are, regardless of body style. Or they just like you, whether it's big, small. They feel like you were made for them. For whoever your partners are, they feel like you were made for them, that you fit nicely. I feel like with the analog clock, you may be a type of person who does, it reminds me of a stopwatch. So you may be someone who cooks a lot with a timer, and people find it very lucky to be around you because the type of chef, and getting to taste all of the wonderful baking and cooking that you share with others. Also hearing stopwatch, you could be into, I'm getting the feeling of marathons or triathlons, that counting down. Maybe people count down to when they get to see you next. They just really love your energy. With the orange calcite, it stimulates the throat chakra, so you can be a very good singer, or communication through through words and literature, as well as a leader and perseverance. You are a very good leader, and you've overcome some social fears. I feel like people feel lucky to be around you because you make all their social fears wash away. You're not very judgmental, and you get along with a lot of different people. I'm hearing a chameleon type personality, and you're able to adapt, overcome, and persevere. Uh, and I feel that people feel really lucky to have you around, whether it's inside of a business or a social setting, because you really know how to work a crowd. You're in control of your emotions, and people feel very calm to be around you. And the fact that you are on time, you're making sure that you're taking the necessary steps towards your own health and happiness, and you know that keeping a proper schedule and keeping on task is a surefire way to ensure that. So I'm going to have 3 different decks that I'm going to be picking one card from each of to describe why people feel lucky to have you in their lives, and I'll have them listed below inside the description if you're looking to grab any of them yourself. You're also in control of, you're very creative because of the solar chakra being open and balanced with the orange from the orange calcite. You're very giving and creative. I'm also feeling like, yeah, you may be on time, but I get the feeling that there's a few of you there that it doesn't come naturally. Like, I'm hearing that you have like 7 alarms set for you to get up. When you're doing cooking, you make sure that you set extra alarms so that it doesn't happen. And people really find it lucky that you are so self-aware on what your downfalls are, and the fact that you take accountability to work towards the betterment of yourself. People feel like they want to become a better person because of how much effort you're putting into you becoming a better person. So let's see here. Spirit, guides, guardians, and ancestors. Can we get a card on why people feel lucky to be around pile number 1? Seven of materials. So the 7 of pentacles. A lot of people may feel lucky to be around you because you give roses to others. You give credit where credit is due. It's very validating to be around you. It looks like you lay out flowers for yourself as well. You give credit where credit's due, including to yourself. I also feel as you're the type of people to point out people's mistakes or whatever, but you take them off to the side. You don't put people on blast. You like to do things, you like to humble people in the most delicate of ways. Like, I'm seeing there that you see her shoes are untied. And I feel like instead of going up in front of a whole crowd and being like, yo, your shoes are untied, just so you know, or you got a piece of toilet paper stuck to your shoe, and like really announcing it for everyone to hear, I don't feel like that's you. I'm getting the feeling that you would go up to them and like not want to get in their space, but be like, hey, I just wanted to let you know something, and you'll lean in without touching them and be like, yo, I just wanted to let you know your shoe's untied, and I didn't want you to trip or fall in front of everyone. I just wanted to let you know. You know, fixing someone's crown without letting the whole world know that it was crooked is what I'm hearing. You don't you're the type of, and people feel lucky because they're like, instead of embarrassing them in front of everyone else, yeah, you're very sat within self-compassion. You don't run on self-esteem. You run on self-compassion, and the difference is self-compassion is where you talk yourself up and other people up in order to make yourself feel good, instead of putting others down in order to build up your self-esteem. Yeah, you really embody the self-compassion and not wanting to embarrass others. Yeah, like I'm saying, I'm seeing here, if someone like had bought some flowers for someone, and after like someone had given their flowers to someone at a show, and they had put it down on the table and those flowers fell on the ground, I feel as that you wouldn't make a big deal about it, the fact that you would walk over and pick up those flowers and be like, here, you dropped these, I picked them up for you. No, you would just pick them up, lay them down nicely on the table where they fell off of, and just walk away with your head held high, is something that I'm hearing that you would do. Maybe you play guitar and people feel lucky that they get, or any kind of instrument. Some people may feel lucky because you don't share your art and your creativity with everyone, as because you're humble. You're not about that humble brag. Although you should be, you deserve to brag about yourself. There's nothing wrong with a good humble brag. Because you deserve the credit. You do. You deserve to feel as appreciated and admired as much as you give to others. People are lucky to have you around because they feel admired, but people feel lucky to be around you, especially if you're the type who doesn't share their gifts or their timeline. You may not share people what you're doing on your timeline until it's already blossomed. So for those who get to see the beginning stages, feel very lucky and honored to know that you trust them to be in that inner circle, to be in the inner circle instead of being on the outside waiting to, they get to see your work in progress. Not everyone gets to see your work in progress, but those who do feel very lucky to be on the in and the know-how. Because a lot of people don't get to see, if they're outside your inner circle, they only get to see your garden once it's bloomed and blossomed and ready and on display. Like if you made a song, if you were making a song, no, you wouldn't tell anyone, yo, I finished verse 1. I got that hook done. I'm off to the studio. No, it was 1-3-3-1. Yeah, you may be seeing mirroring numbers a lot, or the number 4-4. People find you very stable and self-sufficient. Yeah, especially with the orange calcite, symbolizes stability, but it encourages you. You encourage others to be more self-confident and self-sufficient as they hang around you. Who says I can't wear my Converse with a dress? Some of you, are, especially with the red and black, a lot of you may be still very much in your emo phase, and or phase, and people really enjoy that about you, is that that's your style. You don't care how long it is not a phase for you. I feel also that people feel lucky to be around you because you're not phased by other social norms and yes, social normities that expect you to act or look or dress a certain way, and people feel lucky to be around you because when they get to be around you, they get to be their true self. It's not like someone nagging at them to be like, oh, you're wearing bucket hats. Those are so last season. And you're over 30. Who wears bucket hats over 30? It's like, excuse me. I didn't know that protecting my head and making my face all framed and cute had an expiry date. And people know that you will back them up and you'll let them know. It's like, no, you have the face for a bucket hat. You deserve to wear it. You deserve to feel great. You deserve to protect your eyes from the sun. Like, I'm going off on a tangent now. I'm the type of person too, so I can relate to this, is that you're allowed to wear what you want. But yeah, there may be people who don't get to see you play the guitar and sing that often, or see your garden. Maybe to you that's your secret garden. You're not posting it online because it brings you pleasure and you a sense of peace. And I feel like you're not the type who really goes out of your way to fish for compliments or outside validation. Of course, we deserve validation and, compliments. We're human. We like interaction. It's called human interaction for a reason, hence the human. I feel like you're very private. You're a very private and mysterious person. And when you welcome people into that little corner of your life, I feel that they feel very lucky for that. Because they know that you don't invite every Tom, Dick, and Harry into the. Yeah, that's where the word dick. You're not inviting every Tom, Dick, and Harry into your life and into your business. Uh, you're a very need to know basis, and people feel very lucky when they're on that need to know list. All right, so that was card number 1. Can we get some more messages? Pile number 1. Can we get a message here on why people feel lucky to have them in their pile number 1 in their lives? You may wear nice jewelry, because the cards were hitting. I don't usually hit off this ring. I'm surprised. But it was hitting off of it, and especially since it's a rose too. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people may feel lucky because they know that the roses come with the thorns, so they know that you're to my ears itching. Yes, sir. Extra confirmation. That you come with your thorns. You're not the you. Who was it that said it? It was from sort of TV show. It might have been Miley Cyrus. But you mess with the bull, you get the horns, is what I'm hearing. So some of you may be Tauruses or Capricorns. You don't or Aries. You don't have to be. This is just extra confirmation. Yeah, that if they don't come correct, then you will correct their behavior, and you won't back down. Kind of looks like what is it? Guitar Hero, where it's coming down. You may be really good at video games, and people feel lucky when you're on their team. This could also be for a band, so people feel very lucky that you chose them to sign on to be a part of the band or a part of the community, like whether it's a poetry community, whether it's a medical community, whether you're having a full moon community, whatever community it is, people feel very lucky to have you be a part of it, as they know you don't always invest your time into every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Okay. Yeah, because I was looking at it, I was like, there's another message there. Guitar Hero, but you may make your own beats as well, or grow your own bud. You could be a part of your bud dispenser, and you may grow your own herb and spices and such, and not everyone gets to partake. Maybe you share with people, but you know that certain people aren't meant to be in your rotation, you know? Sharing the good bud, you know? Maybe people think you're very lucky because you have good bud. That may not be for everyone, or just like really good tasting, like I said at the beginning, food. You may turn your buds into food as well. You may work at a dispensary, and people find that very lucky because you get discounts. I think that's everything I have from this. Is that everything now, Spirit? Oh yeah, you smell very nice. People find it lucky that you may find a certain brand of scent that is signature to you. And whenever they smell it, they're like, oh, that smells just like pile number one. They're so lucky. Like, I wish I could smell nice. Like, so some people try as much as they might, but they're just not capable. And I wish them well in their struggle and journey, because you know, having anxiety and hygiene is a good thing to have, and it's not always easy to navigate. Everyone's body is different, and everyone has different oils. And yeah, you may make oils as well from flowers. Oh yeah, rose water. You may roll your bud in rose petals. I know some people do that, and like add lavender. You may be very spiritual with the way you partake and communicate with Ishtar, which, if you didn't know, is the goddess of blood. So, for another card, please. Back at it again. Back at it again! Yeah, so I feel that people find you lucky because no matter what slows you down or kind of a drawback you have, you always have an even bigger comeback. Like, you do not miss. Like, they're always like, pile one, just don't miss. Even if they're down, they're not out for the count. I don't believe it. They're up before 5, never mind 10. A lot of you might wake up at early in the morning, and people can feel that you're lucky that you're able to do that, just to be a morning person. And if you're not, then they really admire and find it lucky that you have such dedication to do it regardless of whether or not you're a morning person. Especially with that 7 on the like an alarm clock style thing. I can't wear my colors. So 19, only the weavers know the time. Yeah, so only you, yes, it's tying back into what I said before, is only the weavers know the time. So you're weaving your journey, and people feel very lucky when they get to know, because everyone else has to wait. That's like, it's like when people know that a new movie's going to be coming out, and there's a certain demographic that is brought in to test to see what rating they should give it by having a bunch of people pre-watch the movie. That's what it's like. People feel lucky when you share things that are going on in your life because it feels like a sneak peek before it drops, and and only you, the weaver, knows when. Only the weaver knows the time. Only you know when you're going to be releasing that album, that EP. Only you know when you're going to release your next video for tarot. And they're like, oh, I wonder when the next pickup pile is going to be coming out. Oh, I love when they do pickup piles. And it's only you that knows when that time is going to be. And it's all set in divine timing. And you're like, I don't need to rush. People feel lucky to know you because you constantly reinforce that everything is happening in divine time and that things are unfolding naturally. I feel as though you have multiple different talents. People find you lucky because you have you're like not even a triple threat. You're like an octa threat. Like 8 different skills and talents. Yeah, I feel as though people think find you lucky to find themselves lucky to have you in their life because you know how to point out when there's an angler fish in the water. You'll be like, that person's faking their lights. That's lip service. Don't follow them. So people find it lucky that you are able to know when people are being fake with you. And having you around to be able to point out the hypocrisy and the uneven relationships where things aren't being equally yoked and people are taking them for advantage, and you point that out, and they feel very lucky to have you in your life, to have that kind of wisdom and forethought and experience to warn a brother. You see something? Warn a brother. And you do, and they feel lucky to have you around to warn them about when ish is gonna go sideways. Can we get the final card for pile number 1? Why others feel lucky to have pile number 1 in their lives. A lot of you may enjoy marine animals. Also, I feel like people may feel like you're lucky, like you're out of this world, because octopuses, like, they have, like, they feel like you're, like, among all the rest, like you're not like anyone else, because octopi have found to not have the same DNA chemical makeup as everyone else, and they can be on land, they can be in water. You're adaptable. It seems like no matter the environment, you're able to adapt and thrive. And you may be an escape artist. People may notice that you Irish exit from things, or you just know when it's time to leave a situation. If you notice things are going wrong, or you know when to not show up to a certain event, you'll be like, yeah, I ain't coming. And then everyone, that person that you told wasn't, that you're not going, goes, and then they're like, yo, it was a gong show, people were fighting, the cops got called, and they're like, but you were at home and you missed it all. You didn't have to put up with that. And they find it that you're very lucky, and they are mindful to listen to that as well. You have a huge heart, or a very giving heart. Uh, you may enjoy the movie The Grinch, just because of it reminds me the symmetry of how octopi have 3 hearts, and inside of the end of it, the Grinch heart grew 3 sizes. Some people may find it themselves lucky that you might be a Grinch to everyone else. It's like that meme where it's like nice to you, mean to everyone else. So your partner, especially, or your friends, because you may be the type of person who's really on guard. So your partner or your friends and such may find it very lucky that you treat them very nicely, and like it's like mean to them, uh, nice to you. It's like it's very black cat energy. Uh, love my partner, hate everyone else. It was I think it was like people used to. I don't remember which couple it was, but people were saying that that was a certain couple where it's like they're everything for each other and just like very mean mug towards others. And people find it lucky that to be one of the people where you are like hyping them up, and because you'll have someone come up to you and they'll think that you're super nice and approachable because of how happy and laughing you are with your friend, and they'll walk up and they'll be like, hi, hey, what's going on? And you're like, and who are you? Well, what do you want? Where'd you come from? Hmm? 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 And they're like, whoa, I didn't realize I had to come correct. And you're like, well, you should have known. Know better, now do better. Yeah, I think that people are lucky because you very much embody the know better and do better, and you hold them to that standard while being encouraging, and they find themselves lucky to have you around. Yeah. So the last card and why people feel lucky to be around you is that you won't accept an empty cup. You won't accept fake love offers, whether it's an intimate, familial, or, intimate, familial, or platonic. Regardless of who is trying to send you an empty cup, you will not accept it. You are not going to accept, you're not going to accept things that drain you and drain your cup. And you don't care how many times you have to start over, because you know that you're not starting over fresh, you're starting with experience. So you'll know what those empty cups look like, and you'll be able to turn them away faster. People find it very lucky that to be around you because they know that you're not going to be accepting fake friendships and fake love or any kind of fakeness. I think you're allergic to it, honestly. And they love being around you and find it very lucky because they know if you're going to hang around them, then they know that they are on their game and that they are doing the best that they can. And they also know that you won't be accepting in friends into the circle and group and community that aren't meant to be there. Yeah, you're not the type who thinks the grass is greener on this other side. You know that the grass is greener where you water it. And you won't accept things just because because people tell you. You're like, I won't accept defeat. I'm going to keep trying. And it's like, I won't accept um I'm not going to accept this friendship just because I'm lonely. I know that friendship is an empty cup. I know because of all the empty cups that I've had to walk away from before and set aside. You're like, I'm no longer setting aside energy for lackluster. I'm no longer setting aside energy for lax mindset. And they know that. You will be, and they find it lucky to be around you is the fact that you're so patient and a great role model on what to accept in your life. Some people may find that you have a very good laugh. I don't know why, but there's one comedian that goes like the ha 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 ha. I'm not sure I remember who he is, but you may have a very contagious laugh, or people may find it very lucky to be around you because you may not laugh that often. So when they get you laughing and in a playful energy, they feel very lucky to have the opportunity to see you in such a playful energy. So that's everything I have for you. Pile number one. I hope that the messages resonated, and I look very forward to seeing all of you in my next readings. And thank you again for 777 subscribers. Oh, I cannot begin to explain how cool it is to have gotten so far. And I appreciate having you around. You seem like a fun energy to mingle with, and I love your spark. Remember to eat, hydrate, rest, and have fun. Bye! Pile number two, if you chose the Jasper, green Jasper. We have joy. It's to improve control over one's thoughts and action and restore harmony into the emotional body. People feel lucky to be around you because you are very controlled over your thoughts. You don't allow it to overthinking to get in the way of your projects. Some of you may channel that overthinking into your projects, and people find it very lucky to know you and see that skill. And restoring harm to your emotional body, people feel very lucky to see you taking action and having such dedication to bringing harmony to your emotional body, to have courage to express yourself. Yeah. Also, green jasper is for recognizing patterns and fixations. You may be a type of person who loves numerology, or recognizes like when there's a lot of certain animals coming around you. You may notice there's a lot of magpies, or or blue jays. Oh my goodness, there's one outside right now. Hi, blue jay. A lot of you may work with Hecate, or just noticing patterns at all, especially since the image that you chose was the 7 chakras all in alignment. So I do really feel like you are taking the time to bring harmony into your body. I feel as though you are one who helps others bring regulation and balance to their chakras. You could be a Reiki practitioner. Ooh. Extra confirmation. Prana, you may do acupuncture, or as well as massage. You may, whether it's holistic or pharmaceutical medicines and practices, I feel as though you are a healer. And I know that in order to help others bring healing to themselves, because we do not heal others. It's not our responsibility. We can only give you the tools and guidance. And you know that in order to help guide others, you gotta save yourself first. And I think people find being around you is very lucky, because you show them that it is possible to heal ourselves and regulate the body through harmony. Getting from Soul Eater, a sound mind resides, sound soul resides within a sound mind and a sound body, and you are learning to become very sound of mind and body. It's giving me the imagery is that people find lucky to be around you because you know that you have to put on your face mask first. I think they're called safety masks. Um, when you're going through a an airplane ride and it starts going down, you have to put on your oxygen mask first. And people find it so lucky to be around you, because watching you put on your own air mask and then go out there and help others put on theirs is so inspiring, and it makes them want to use their tool belt as well. A lot of you may be mechanics, or work on machines for medicals. You may work on MRIs and scantrons and such, fixing them so that people can go through. People find it very lucky that you take the time. Now, whether or not you've done this professional, like through professional means, or if you're self-taught, maybe you taught yourself how to stitch up a wound. Maybe you were the one who taught yourself how to do Reiki. Maybe you taught yourself how to massage, and different pressure points within the body, and how different bio gut medicine helps with the different parts of the body, and learning how sage and all those medical sticks help cleanse the home and the body at the same time. I feel as though people feel lucky to be around you for recognizing those types of patterns, and not making them feel irrational. I know that a lot of people will are slowly coming around to numerology, but there are still those who scoff in its face, or have very psychological and logical approach to it. But I feel as though we all still like looking at certain numbers. Like there's people who like the number 69 and 420, and they go nice, 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 and they'll see that number everywhere. And all you're doing is making, I feel though people find it lucky because you will relate spirituality to science and other relatable messages, and that you're not over the top about how being spiritual has to be a certain way. Many different ways to be spiritual, and not just one way to be spiritual is right. And I feel as though people find it very lucky to have you as their spiritual teacher and guidance and advisor, because you aren't going to turn them away from being a logical thinker. Because honestly, the best people who become spiritual start off as logically thinking for themselves, and we don't want to deterrent that. And I feel people feel lucky to be around you for the fact that you don't deterrent that you don't tell them that they're thinking the wrong way, and you want to guide them and think and listen to their theories as much as you want to share your theories with them. I feel as though you really help others with, others feel lucky to be around you because you help, like, regulate their nervous system, whether, like, of course through Reiki, but I feel like it's just your energy. I feel as though you're really fun and very grounding. You may do a lot of grounding exercises or spend a lot of time in nature. People may find it lucky to know you because you have a lot of stories about in nature. You may have a serendipitous experiences while you're out and about, like seeing a cardinal in an area where cardinals aren't seen that often. Or example of myself, I was up in the mountains with a friend at the time, and I always wanted to find for myself a hagstone because I've only ever gotten them offline, and I've never been anywhere where, because I live in the city, I've never been anywhere close to a river where I think would have it. And we were sitting in a river island in the middle, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go looking. And my friend's like, looking for what? And I picked up a rock, and I went to go explain what I was looking for, and I got so excited because it was a hagstone. And they were like, I started yelling and jumping and excitement, and they're like, no way, you just found it. Like, just found it just there right now that you stood up. You were like, I'm gonna go looking, and the first rock that I grabbed. And it was so exciting. And I feel like you share these types of stories with your friends, like finding a four-leaf clover or finding a crystal randomly, where not randomly, they belong and do come from outside, but in like not in a clustered area, just like in a random field. And it doesn't just have to be spiritual serendipitous. Maybe you went out, and not even out in nature, just the adventures and the cool things you spot while out and about and patterns and such. You have a very keen eyesight for detail, and people find it very lucky to have you around so that you can point it out. Maybe you're out with a friend and they really love axolotls or Pokemon stuff, and you're walking out and about and you're like, yo, is that a Snorlax backpack? And your friend's like, oh my god, that is a Snorlax backpack. Oh, I would have never saw that. Thank you for pointing it out. Or like a really cool aftermarket car with a spoiler and a waifu lady on the side of it. And you're like, yo, dude, it's a car. And they're like, yes, Nissan Skyline. And, you know, just pointing out their favorite car, taking and knowing that there's going to be a car meet at a certain mall parking lot, and you take them there because you recognize when those patterns of when they come around and when they're going to be showing off the cars. And people find it very lucky that you take that time with your pattern recognition to know their likes and interests and take the time to point it out for them. Or you're out and you're like, yo, I saw that there was a little baby turtle statue and you bought it for them, or a patch with an orca on it, what have you. You just know that your friends would enjoy these things, and they maybe not have seen it or spot it or whatever reason that they didn't notice it, and you did. And they feel so lucky to have you in their life so that they can have those cool things as well. So let's get a can we get a card for pile number 1, please? Why others feel lucky to have them in their lives. Hello, baby. Meow. Queen of Materials. So Queen of Pentacles. I feel as though hi, baby boy. You may have your animals that are very loving. Animals may come up to you out of nowhere. People may find that you're very lucky when it comes to pets and animals and children. You just have a knack for knowing what they need and how to take care of them. Like there'll be a baby crying and you'll like pick it up and start doing the swaddle, and all of a sudden they're silent and they're like, how did you manage that? I've been trying to get them to stop crying for 15 minutes. And it's like you just have that that healing touch, that soothing energy. Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, you may make your own jewelry or really speak up for those who don't have a voice for themselves. And people find it very lucky to have you around because you will speak up for those who don't have a voice, including them. Like, if they get their order, like, this is a minimal issue, except for if you're an introvert and have anxiety, but maybe your friend got their order wrong and you're like, no, this won't do. I'm gonna ask them nicely to get your order right. Like, you don't need to be afraid. I'll do it. Like, having that one partner who's like, they didn't order pickles. Or they feel lucky that you'll eat the pickles for them. You're willing to eat the crust for them. Yeah, I feel as though you support small businesses and like local businesses and local indigenous artists. You may be an indigenous artist, and people find it lucky that it's lucky to be around you because they get to share your culture and your wisdom and be a part of that, getting to know more and maybe you speak up for yourself and not only others. Maybe people feel lucky to be around you because then they know their friend won't be walked over. Yeah, these earrings are really reminding me of this online couple where, what is her name? I think it's Relentless Indigenous Woman, and like her partner, Sacred Thunder. I don't know if you know them, but if you do, you can look them up. But it's so cute how I forget what her name is though. I always go by Restless. She'll wear the earrings that her partner makes and put it on display. So you may display your partner or your friends. You may be the one who constantly shares and comments and hypes up their page. They may not even ask you, but you'll like share their song and like their paintings and just randomly hype them up for no reason. And they feel very lucky to have you in their lives because they may not get the hype that they deserve. People also feel lucky to be around you because you share the limelight. That's what it is. Because it looks like a big lime. You share your limelight. You're like, if I'm going to the top, you're coming too. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna let any old, like, person hold on to them coattails. Like, you're not gonna let the crabs in the buckets hold on to your coattails and ride all the way to the top. But genuine and and receptive and equally precipitation uh, reciprocity. The fact that it's equally yoked and a type of friendship, and you know they have your back just as much as you have theirs. That type of relationship. You are willing to share your limelight. You don't need to be the center of attention. And people find that very lucky, that you know when to dive into a relationship and into a conversation, and you know when to pull back. Like in a relationship, you know when you can pull back a little bit and let them do their thing, and you know when to jump in and give a helping hand. Yeah, people find it very lucky to have you as their hype man, hype woman, hype person in general. It's regardless of your gender, you are a hype person, and they find it very people find it very themselves very lucky to be involved with such a healing energy, and you're just a joy to be around. And you help spread that joy to others. Obviously, if you're sharing it, you don't mind sharing the limelight. You're not fighting for it to be the center of attention. Now, you command attention. Yes, they find it very people to be lucky to be around you because you command attention and respect. You're not taking anyone's BS. Can't BS a BSer. uh, okay, can we get another card, please, Spirit, on why people feel very lucky to have pile number 2 in their lives? I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long, for I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. People feel lucky that they can call on you if they need a hand. Because we all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me. Okay, now I'm getting into it. 18. When the sunbeams have to show. Yeah, you know how to take the stage when you do, but you're willing to share the stage. I'm getting a feeling that a lot of people feel lucky if they get to collaborate with you. If you're a tarot reader, people love doing collaborations with your channel. You could be on a podcast and people love coming on as guest speakers, or being on a track. Maybe someone felt you were a muse and they wanted to paint you. Yeah, or you feel other people are worth painting. People feel very lucky to be chosen by you to be drawn, be painted, to be sculpted. Now, if that's not the case, then I'm getting the feeling that you are a type of person who likes going out to those paint nights, and people find it lucky to have you in your life because you are a type of person who wants to go to those paint nights and to have fun quality time together. When the sunbeams have to show. A little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning. I don't know why that's coming to my head. But yeah, I feel as though your presence is felt even when you can't, even when you aren't, even when people aren't able to see you. You know, when how lightning doesn't show up until a little bit after the thunder has crackled. So, I'm getting the feeling that you make. What does that mean, spirit? Like what? Like a little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning. Um, your actions speak for themselves through great distances. People know you far and wide. You're making an impact, and some of you may know how to do gutter rolls. Some people may find you lucky because you are able to do gutter rolls or other forms of screamo music. They just find it very cool that you're able to do that. Uh, or rolling your stomach. Some of you may be belly dancers or dancers, and people find it very lucky to have you in your life because you share how to do those dances. You may know how to do shuffling, but I feel like your actions speak louder than your words, and your words leave a big impact. So if your actions, yeah, people love having you around because say you always do what you say you're going to do. It may take a little while. You might get a little delayed now and then, but you always show up and show out. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I'm loving this. You are the pile. I feel like you make a lot of laughs. Okay, pile number 2. Oh, okay, I'll take. You want one? I'm gonna take it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You remind me of my one good friends that I did a reading for one time. Um, they always say that whenever they're stressed out, and it was funny because the Empress fell on the floor then too, and I was like, I feel like you are the Empress. You are the Empress. The never-ending story. You are the child Empress. Which what I'm feeling is that you act like royalty, but you sit within a childlike wonder. Yes. Yes. And the Empress being on the floor, my friend was saying whenever they're stressed, they lay down on the floor. Very grounded, very mindful, very demure. Uh, but I feel like, yes, you are very grounded. People, again, find it very lucky to have you around. You're very fruitful and abundant. Um, yeah, you go with the flow. Uh, fruitful, stable. Yeah, and you take other people's opinions with a grain of salt, is what I'm hearing with those grains there. Yeah, you take other people's opinions with a grain of salt, and people find you having you lucky to be in their lives because then when they be like, "Did you hear? My one friend told me this," and they're like, "Okay, and does that resonate? No? Then don't take it. Take it with a grain of salt." You take things with a grain of salt and you turn it into a masterpiece. You're like, oh, you want to give me those grains of salt? Okay, I'll put it to season myself. Yeah, you take people's advice with a grain of salt because you are well seasoned and experienced, and you know what works for you and what doesn't, and you don't let that deter you from your path. And people find it very lucky to have you in their lives because not everyone is able to turn away people's advice, especially if they're further along in a skill and such. They're like, well, they must know better because they've been around longer, and you know that that's not the truth. Just because someone's been doing something longer doesn't make them wiser, doesn't make them more experienced. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. So 155 on 1-5, you may be saying ones and fives in sequence. Of course, other patterns, as that is your pile, the pile of patterns. So thank you, my healers, for coming through. I had a lovely time reading your energy and giving you these messages. So I hope to see you all in the next reading. And until then, remember to eat, hydrate, rest, and have fun. Bye! Pile number 3. If you chose the... Drop it down low, drop it down low, drop it down low. If you pick the Unicate, I feel that some people find you very lucky because you know how to drop it down low. I know. With your image that you chose for the sevens, it reminds me of Scrabble and also carpentry. So you may lay down wood. You may what is it? A drop down feature for homes. Either way, you could be a carpenter. You may work with construction or an architecture. Um, but overall, if you're not any of those, what I'm hearing is that you are the original blueprint. You stand within your originalness. You aren't here to copy anyone else, and people find it very lucky for you to be in their lives because then they don't have to worry about someone who's going to be a copycat or trying to carve in on someone else's success. You like to carve out your own success. You want to spell it out for yourself. Like with Scrabble, you may enjoy word searches, word puzzles, and I also feel as though you're like you build your own board games or you write children's books is what I'm getting as well. You don't have to. That's just extra confirmation. I'm also with the 7 and seeing little numbers and such, is that you're very visionary. That your third eye is open. You may do scrying, whether it's mirror scrying or fire scrying. You could be a water or fire sign, you don't have to be. But emotional balance. Yukai is to balance emotionally and mental aspects of your psyche. And it's to heal separation issues. So I feel as though people find themselves very lucky to have you around because you are understanding of those who need a little extra reassurance. Maybe you have animals that have separation anxiety and you'll put on music for your pets in order to help soothe them and your pets, and those around you find you themselves lucky. Your familiars find themselves lucky because they have an owner who is willing to know that they have feelings and that they deserve to have some music on for themselves. So, anything else? Yeah, the yucca is considered a sacred stone because it deepens meditation by increasing your sense of being in the now. People find themselves lucky to have you around because you are very present. You know how to take each day at a time and not look too forward or to dwell on the past. You know that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Um, but yeah, you are the blueprints. That you may have dealt with copycats yourself in the past, and people find themselves very lucky so that you don't embody that. So let's go. Pile number 3. Can we get a... And the Unicate was named after Unica Mountain of North Carolina, so you may live in North Carolina. You don't have to, but that's where it was first discovered. A lot of you may feel lucky to have you in your life because you are well traveled. Whether or not you have physically traveled, but maybe they find you lucky because you spiritually astral travel. Maybe you're really good at astral projection. Maybe you've gone traveling a lot for work. I'm also hearing that you may just have a lot of long distance friends. Your long distance friends find uh, themselves very lucky to have you in their lives because the people who are close to them in the same area may not resonate, and they find themselves very lucky to have you in their lives because pen pals are amazing, obviously. They find you very lucky because you not only increase their like the concept of deep emotional trust and encouragement from long distances, knowing that the world is a good place and that when they do travel, they'll have someone to come and visit, that it won't just be a tourist occasion, it'll be a reunion or a meeting occasion, and they find that themselves very lucky to have a first row seat to those countries and those states and towns and homes and culture because you are connected to each other. Some of you may confirmation. Some of you may practice language with each other. If not, then they just find themselves very lucky to have a friend who is dedicated to learning a second language. You might write poems for these friends. They find themselves lucky that you treat them as if they were, in the same city, which you should. They're friends. They're friends. They're friends of friends, no matter the distance. And that's why they feel lucky, is that your friends feel like you go the distance for them, even though you're not close around. For those who do live in the same city, they still find themselves very lucky to have you in their lives because you will go the distance for them. A lot of people live in the same city and feel as though they don't even ever get to see their friends. You're the type of friend who will go on parallel play if they want you to come over and just hang out, or they want to FaceTime and you cook while they do something else. They find themselves very lucky that you want to be a part of their lives. And that the fact that you'll take a time and pick them up and go to a doctor's appointment, that you'll pick them up and go to grocery shopping together, that you want to come to their baby shower and all those other beautiful things. They just feel very lucky to have you around. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We have Six of Voices, which I believe is Six of Swords. What's of Voices? What are ya? I am right. Um, people find it very lucky to have in their life, because if you don't know the answer to the question, I'm getting that meme with what's his name? Jason Moa or whatever his name is. Like, I don't have that information for you currently, but I will do everything in my power to find out. Is because you will go the distance. Like I already said, that's the overall message. I feel like we're going to go through all the cards, but you go the distance. You, Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. Uh, Dr. Doolittle. You may be very good at communicating with animals. You may be an animal whisperer. But yeah, you go the distance. You would that they would go almost anywhere to feel like they belong, but they know when they come to you, they know they already belong. And Six of Voices, it kind of reminds me of a bear claw strike. So you may have a mama bear or a cub or a very protective energy of your friends, and they feel very lucky to be under your protection. You may send spiritual protection to them when they're going through a hard time. You may actually, do it up close in person for those who are unlucky to see it come from you. And it's like, you cannot talk to my friends like that. You are very protective, very mama bear energy over your friends. That doesn't matter what gender you are, you're just very protective. I'm also seeing here, it's kind of reminding me of Cyber 6, where you may have a day job and a nighttime career or creative endeavor, because it was a Canadian, you may be Canadian or watch Canadian shows, but there was a Canadian show where it was Cyber 6, and it was this woman who by day worked at a newspaper, and by night she was a hero. So a lot of you may do a lot of healing work at night. A lot of you may be a part of a night watch group, or you're the one who takes the turn to stay up at night, maybe while out camping and such, and you like take turns. You'll take the night shift. Some of you may work the night shift. And people find themselves very lucky to have you on their shift for night shift, because a lot of other people may not like it as much, but with you, you really make it fun. But I'm also getting the symbolism from Tuxedo Mask. So a lot of people feel lucky to have you around because of the fact that you embody the sisterhood or the community, the team energy of the Sailor Scouts. Never running from a real fight. Your friends feel lucky to have you around because you will never run from a real fight. And you will fight till the very end. You will never turn your back on a friend. Yeah. And it's so beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, pile number 3. Oh, they are so lucky to have you. And if they don't feel lucky to have you, then keep going, because people should feel lucky to have you. Okay? And you deserve it. You deserve to have people feel lucky to have you and not count you out. I'm literally doing a reading about people who haven't, so I know that there isn't, but you may enjoy steampunk or have a very vintage or eclectic style and jewelry. You're very fashionable and have an epic aesthetic. And people feel very lucky to have you around, to have that keen eyesight and aesthetic. And that they consider you transformative. Like, to be around your energy really transforms the mood. You may wear head jewelry a lot, or a hijab or a head wrap. Um, People may really find it lucky um, that you'll share your sense of style. That you aren't the type to be like, but I'm Malibu Barbie. From I forget which movie it's from. I think it's Never Been Kissed was the movie with Drew Barrymore. And they both showed up, and she's like, I'm not. And she's like, I'm not Malibu Barbie, I'm Beach Barbie. And I feel like you don't care if someone shows up wearing the same outfit. I don't feel like you're the type to be like, who wore it better? You're the type to be like, oh, you love that dress too? Did you get it from the same price? Did you get a good price? Oh yeah, we gonna be rolling out in our Sailor Scout suits. Exactly, like Sailor Scouts. Knowing that each person and individuality shines through, whether or not you're wearing the same thing. And I feel like people are feel lucky to have you around because you don't feel that um, inner competition to outshine the other person, like, which is incredible. Yeah, you're willing to share the spotlight. You're willing to share the spotlight. You are willing to share the spotlight. Okay, for oh, some of you may be water signs really, because I have not felt the urge to cry until I got to this pile. So some people may find it very lucky to have you around because you're willing to have a good cry with them. You're not going to tell them stop crying. You're going to tell them have a good cry, let it out. You let it all out. Let it out. And then you help them laugh afterwards. You remind them that all emotions have a time and place, like Footloose when talking about that one Bible scripture with David, I believe it was. There's a time to cry. There's a time to mourn. There's a time to pray. There's a time to dance and leap with faith. So I feel as though you know that there's a time and place for everything. And people feel lucky that you know how to navigate those moments, that you will let it be that shoulder to cry on. But you also aren't going to let them sit in their self-pity and their woe is me committee, because you're like, this is not the woe is me committee. This is, you're going to cry, you're going to pull on your armor, you're gonna suit up, and you are going to seize the day. We're gonna cry and be dramatic about it first, but we will get over it and we will conquer it. And that's amazing. That's a wonderful energy to have. I'm proud of you, pile number 3. You may not get told that a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the clock. Yo, you're taking the next steps. You are taking all the steps you need to. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. Yeah, you are freeing yourself. You are freewheeling you are freewheeling out of here. You may not feel free right now. You may feel closed up inside of a little space, feeling like you don't got a lot of room to spread your wings. I'm telling you, pile number 3. I know it's supposed to be a reading about how other people feel lucky because they know that you won't give up. and they're lucky to have a friend like you who's not willing to give up on themselves. And it's hard. It's hard to watch our friends give up on themselves. So the fact that you're not willing to give up on yourself is why they feel like you are such a good friend. It's hard to watch others who won't, and it's hard to help others who won't help themselves, pile number 3. And you're willing to help yourself. And that's why people feel lucky to have you around, because they're like, if I help pile number 3, they'll help themselves, and they're not going to leave me to drown in their sorrow, and they're not going to bleed all over me and expect me to keep bandaging them up and then them opening the wound again. You're leaving that wound alone. You are helping heal that mother wound, and people are so lucky to have you around, because when you heal the mother wound, the nurturing and the love and the growth that comes from that is incredible and top notch. But yeah, you're making tangible progress. That's why people feel lucky to have you around, because you may get a little delayed, it might get a little lost in the mail, but you know that pile number 3 is going to persevere and overcome anything that is thrown their way. Just like in Camelot with the Black Knight, who was still a knight but didn't sit at the round table, you may not be fully embracing your kingdom at this time. Excuse me. Confirmation. Some of you may be Clairgustus, where you get flavors or different food tastes as confirmation. Some of you may be freelancers or or have your own business and do markets places or online markets or online websites. Yeah, because a freelancer is just a knight that doesn't have a kingdom. And I know you may not have your own sovereignty or your own kingdom yet, but people find it so lucky to be around you, is that regardless of not having your own kingdom, you're not trying to tear down other people's kingdoms, and you're making tangible progress and saving up so that you may have your own kingdom. Yeah. You're not going to let it slow you down, pile number 3. And that's why people feel lucky to have you in their lives, is because they know you aren't going to be down for the count for very long. Thank you for coming through. I enjoyed all of your energy and getting to read all of the many reasons of why you are to be adored and why people should feel lucky to have you around. And if they don't, they should. And if they do, good. So me being a little sassy on the side. Some of you may be sassy or have a little like brat energy or very, very jester-like, and people find that very refreshing to have that comedic relief, and people find you very lucky to have in their lives for that comedic relief. So thank you for coming through. Remember to eat, hydrate, rest, and have fun, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye. Do, 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 do.